Welcome back to the Stop Snitching podcast.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Nathan. We got B-Rock in the building.
As always, man.
This week, once again, we have a tremendous guest. Ed Deuce is in the building. We'll give it a little round of applause here.
Yeah, man.
Hello.
Ed
Appreciate
Deuce
having
is,
you.
this
having
is
me
someone
on here.
that I saw through B. I was like, who's this guy? Doing a lot of work. I was like, there's checks are running up. It didn't matter. He was in the gym, basketball court, fireman, out at his own crib. I was like, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
Brandon said, don't worry, I will be the plug. I'll make it happen.
Nice.
And now we are here. So we
Yeah.
welcome Ed Deuces to the podcast.
Appreciate you guys having me here.
By the way, like, Ed Deuces, I never knew where that came from.
My basketball number.
22.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
twos, baby.
So why 22, though? I don't think I ever asked
So, my brother, Hav had 21. I had 22. My brother Orlando had 23, and Jose was 24.
Oh, damn.
That's
All
you
my brothers
and all
are-
your 22, 23, 24?
Damn.
So like that. We were a baseball family. I'm pretty much the only one that actually went basketball full throttle.
Okay.
And Roberto Clemente was the guy in our family. So
Yeah.
Hop picked 21, and that was like a dad thing. Like follow behind Pop's footsteps. Like he loves Roberto Clemente. We're gonna go with 21. Somehow Orlando's birthday's December 23rd, so he's been number 23. And I was like, I wanted number 3 when I got to Camden Catholic, and they were like, no, taken. I'm like, so what's left? They're like 32 or 22, and I was like, I'll take 22.
22.
And it just worked out perfectly
Yeah,
like that.
Damn,
though.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He's just accelerating through his life story here. So
we're good.
Ed, to me, with this, I think this is one of Brandon my favorite's perspective, because at this point, whoever's coming on the podcast has some sort of connection to one of us.
Right.
So from my perspective, when I was first looking at your Instagram page, I was like, okay, so he either has 14 jobs or he's just multi-talented in all these different ways. So correct me if I'm wrong, which we can get into. Broad term, athletic trainer, strength and conditioning coach.
Yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Fireman.
Yes.
And then I've just realized all-around handyman can basically has someone or can do anything to some sort of property.
So being plugged in with the right people can get the job. You'll always find a way to get the job done. And,
Gotta have friends, bro.
Yes. And luckily I have a very good circle. So I've did some renovations to the house in the last 2 years, and I've had somebody that's come in and helped me for, the homie rate, which has been dope.
Which is the rate we like.
Yeah, which
yes,
has been
sir.
really good.
So how'd you two connect?
So Tyler Hines,
Friend of the podcast.
Yeah, is I consider him my little bro. He calls me big bro. But
Who's older?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
How old do you think I am? We'll play this game because I love doing that.
Fucking
Yeah, no, it's good because it boosts
How
my
old do
ego.
I think you are?
Yeah. This is gonna boost my ego. I'm good with that.
I don't think you're older than 28, 29.
I love that. Yo,
Are you over? You're 28?
Nah,
I'm
he's
34.
34.
No way, bro. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You young looking?
I got good genes in my family.
Wait,
My
how
mom
old
is
is
a
Tyler?
stud.
30.
He's got to be 30.
He's about
Yeah.
to be 31.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you're killing it. 34, no shot I was saying over 30.
So I went to Camden Catholic, and Kyle came in with me at Camden Catholic, and then after he transferred out. But got really close with Kyle. We played on, a bunch of different basketball teams together, and Tyler was always around. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he
But
became-
you're Kyle's class?
yeah, we're the same age.
Okay.
So I always kept the connection with the family, even when they went to Timber Creek. So we were always pretty close. Fast forward to my first job at Velocity. Tyler's playing overseas, Kyle's playing overseas, and they became one of my first big clients. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. So then with them came all of Sicklerville. Every single one of them. It was like the floodgates opened of all Timber Creek guys, and he was one of them. So.
This
This is right around the time he was playing baseball too.
It was all parlayed. Oh, you were working with him during high school.
Yeah, it was my last. Well, it was my
At
last
Rutgers.
year at Rutgers.
Oh, at
it was like 2017,
Rutgers.
2017, 2018.
He was a
that's
stud.
dope.
Oh, he was a stud. He was always in homers.
Dude, I always
Triple Crown, right?
Bro.
I'm not.
Bro, I
That was the
said
year you
this.
trained me. Though.
Yeah, triple.
Bro.
Say that one more time.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
the year I was trained by Ed
One more
Torres.
time.
Bring that mic to the
Yeah,
face.
hold on. Run that back, DJ.
I mean, yeah, everything was pretty much through T, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The first workout ever at Explosive was terrible. Like, I was like, cause it's a different kind of workout. It's like not lifting weights. It's like,
Oh, well, people think they're in shape, and then they come in. And
yeah,
they're
and
like,
then you
oh.
go there, and it's like, y'all don't want to go back. I think
Yeah.
it was me, T, Jeff was there, maybe Mike Martin was there.
more
Like,
than likely.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I was done, bro. I was like,
OD
you guys
All
can
Stars.
do it.
Yeah.
Everybody in that.
Yeah, but it's just like it's literally like performance. Like, it's about movement. It's about explosiveness. It's like, weightlifting is such a small part of the workout.
Yeah, it's definitely there's
Yeah.
a component that's a component to it, but mobility, flexibility, core stability, force development, and then some kind of movement, and then you're lifting at the end.
Yeah.
So and then there's the conditioning part. So depending on what day you're working on.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Just thinking
And
about
I think
this right
my
now.
first day was like a
Exactly.
circuit day.
Yeah.
Which is
Wait,
like
bro,
the
I want to hear about this.
worst.
Can you break us down?
Oh, my bad.
We got to
So,
welcome him in.
I don't know if you
Official, like.
watched it, but so when I counted 3, you're gonna tap.
So you got your
whatever
glass.
drink
Well,
is.
your drink.
You're gonna tap, stop snitching, and then we're gonna toast, bang, and then. technically
So he's going to go
start
1, 2, 3. We go bang, stop snitching, cheers, drink. And then you're officially locked into the podcast.
All right,
We
right.
always delay this part far too long. But we're trying to
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
stop snitching. Bam. Welcome in, bro.
All right.
So yeah, first workout was like a circuit kind of jump, like skill, like it was on the skill mill. Then we had to do like burpees. Then we had to do something else, and I was gassed, bro. Like cause I had never done anything like that.
But he also came in with Tyler, and
Yeah.
Tyler says like the minute he walks in, he'll be like, "Ed, kill me today.
And
I
that
need
was the
it.
point
I
when
need
Tyler
it."
was playing.
Yeah, I
Like,
need it.
He wasn't playing shape. So it's like, bro, kill me. I'm like,
Yeah.
kill you.
Brandon's like,
I'm like,
no. Bring that down a little bit from
I'm
there.
telling you, the Heinz are different beasts. Like
Yeah.
Tyler comes in and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna run a quick 2, and then you could put me through a workout." Like, who the hell says I'm gonna run a quick 2 miles and then go
Oh,
ahead
I
and
thought
work
you meant
out?
he's going to run 2 minutes.
No, hell no.
I would do.
Yeah, 2 miles. Yeah, he's a quick 2 miles apparently. And I look over and I'm like, "Good, are we ready to go?" And yeah, go ahead. And then we start the workout. Ty is a different kind of beast.
Now,
That's why I said when he was playing,
Yeah.
This
he's
is different.
different
Hold on. So because for people who have no idea who you are, now once again, you're coming on here. I'm sure, like you said, you're going to have the entirety of Sicklerville, every athlete in probably majority of every high school in the region is going to tune into this to look
Yeah.
at you. Okay, so no pressure for someone else,
Right.
for someone else who's coming in to watch this. Like you. So from what I know, you go to Rowan University, Glassboro, New Jersey. Now, from the BCTV Media Productions, I can put together that you go to Rowan, you go to athletic training,
yeah.
and then, so what happens from there? You find a happy medium in strength and conditioning?
So I went in health and exercise science, concentration athletic training. First 2 years are like your gen eds and stuff like that, anatomies and your history classes, whatever, that dumb stuff. But then your second year, after your second year, you have to apply to be specialized. That's where it got a little tricky for me there. So when I applied to be specialized, so that's basically saying like, all right, come next year, you are in charge of a team. So you're going to be with wherever they place you, and you're the head athletic training student. So you'll have like an accredited certified instructor, and you have you're the go-to person. So you're there with the teams, you're stretching them, you're taping them, you're at all the practices, all the games, traveling with them, and all that stuff. So that became a little tricky for me because I also played basketball at Rowan. So in specialization, you need 4 rotations. Because basketball started in the fall and finished in the spring, when I got my rotations, I got a half a rotation. So it took me a whole nother year and a half to finish my degree that would have taken me 4. So when I got in, they were like, "Quit basketball." I'm like, "No." They're like, "But you're not going to get done on pace with your class." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, I came here to play basketball. So when I was picking my schools, I went through like a list, check off list. Like, does this school give me X, Y, and Z or whatever? And then I narrowed everything down to Rowan. And pretty much the 2 top priorities were athlete training and then basketball. Can I play there? So it was like between like 2 other schools, Arcadia, Stockton, and Rowan. And Rowan was like a happy medium, is kind of close to home, but not that close. So I'm from Camden. And I went there. And then, like I said, my last rotation was probably the most beneficial one, and that's the one that I was speaking to you before when I was at Glassboro. And that ACI, Danielle, she basically, was like, Ed, what do you want to do? Because at this point right now, I was fed up with athletic training. I did not want to do it. I spine boarded a kid at Pittman one time, and it was nerve-wracking. I hated it. I hated waiting to see if a kid got hurt that day. You know what I mean? Like, it was...
So was that... You didn't like the athletic training because it was so stressful in the moment?
Yeah, it was like... So basically, you get there, you have like a rush of kids come in. They need to be taped. They need to be stretched. They need treatment. They do all this stuff. So it's like a hectic 2 hours. They go out to practice, and then you're sitting on one of those
on
little golf carts or whatever, waiting for somebody to either get hurt, you know what I mean, or need, whatever your services needed to be rendered for that day. And a lot of times, so when I worked at Pittman, they were so low numbers for every sport that kids had so many different injuries, and it was just one after another after another. And then you have coaches, a bunch of people just dying everywhere. You have coaches yelling at you like, "Yo, when's this kid available?" And I'm like, "This kid is limping still. Like, he can't go back to play." Like, so it just, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. And like I said, it was Pittman. I forget, it might have been Pittman Eastern, and 2 kids went helmet to helmet. We had to spine board that kid, and he ended up being fine. But that very moment, I'm sitting there shaking, and I see my hands. I'm like, "Damn, dude, like, I don't like this."
Yeah.
And I knew then that it wasn't for me. So that rotation's over, and I go to Glassboro. And this lady had an amazing personality, where the last one that I had before that was very dry. She told me that the way that I developed relationships with the athletes were going to be, it was going to be the death of me, basically. She was like, "You will not be successful in this field because you get too attached to them. You're too friendly with them. They love you too much, and they're not going to respect you." And, flash forward to where I'm at right now, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I am successful with my kids, is because they know I care.
That seems like some pretty shitty advice.
Yeah, they know I care. Like, I really do care about these kids. So,
well, especially at the high school level, this is
she was like wrong.
That's wrong. But I think a little bit of that had to play with her living situation and where she was in her life.
So she projected that on.
Oh yeah.
And maybe she'd never actually seen an athletic trainer connect with kids.
I just think that she was just not liked so much that she saw that I was liked, and she was like, "Nah, it's not gonna work."
That's impossible.
Yeah, it was like it's almost like she threw a red flag at me.
Yeah.
But whatever, I go to Glassboro, and this lady and me click. She is funny, down to earth. So,
Shout her out, bro.
Yeah, Danielle Capasso, Danielle Williams. She is the reason why.
She's the GOAT.
Yeah, the reason why I am who I am right now is because I started over there. When I was at Pittman, my high school coach's son was the basketball coach there. He would talk to that ACI and be like, "Yo, let Ed practice so he could beat up the kids or whatever." And she looked at it like, whatever. Yeah. And then she would let me because, she didn't want to disappoint this coach. At Glassboro, Danny was like, "Go. Play with them. Yeah, they'll love it." You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm technically at work and I'm hooping. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the best of both worlds for me.
I'm getting paid to trash you right now?
Yeah. First of all, I wasn't getting paid, but...
right.
Yeah, school.
Rotation, we're getting a degree, though.
I'm required to be here, and I get to hoop, so it's dope. So I developed a lot of relationships with those kids, and some of them right now still, I'm still in touch with, so which is, it's crazy to think about the longevity of these kind of friendships or whatever that I developed with them. So, I get there, and she's like, "Ed, what do you want to do? You don't want to be an athlete trainer. What in this field do you like doing? So when kids would come back and we knew what the injury was, and all right, here's the plan of attack to get them back on the field. I excelled in that portion. And when it came to strength and conditioning, that's where, my attention was always there. So she was like, all right, let's Google strength and conditioning in South Jersey. Velocity Sports Performance was the first thing that came up. She wrote my cover letter, she wrote my resume, and she sent it out. Within 2 hours, I think the owner of Velocity responded back to me. Within a month, I had my interview with him.
Wow.
And then I get hired from them. My head guy there is who I'm working with right now at Explosive. So Trey Tolliver was my ACI for my last rotation at Rowan, and they used that so I can graduate. And then I worked at Velocity for 6 years and went away from Trey and Velocity. I was on my own, and then we reconnected, and he started Explosive, and then was like, yo, come through. I need you. And then that's where we're at right now.
That's amazing.
So what do you classify yourself as? Because it's like, I don't want to say trainer because people get sensitive.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't call me
for
a trainer,
sure.
Da, 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 da. Like, so like, if you were to put it on a resume, like what would you say your actual job is?
Strength and conditioning specialist. Yeah.
Okay.
So look, it's funny because I train physician assistant. If you call her a nurse, she gets really pissed off. And trainers do the same thing. They're like, I got a 4-year degree. You're not going to tell me I'm a trainer, like I just got a certification over the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't really get into that. I'm just like,
I mean, it's a thing. It's like,
sorry.
So like a trainer is like a broad thing. Like you could.
A trainer is like a certification.
Yeah, like
versus...
you could be a trainer right now. Take a class over the weekend, and then boom, you're a certified trainer. You know what I'm saying?
Or you don't have to. You just kind of do it.
Right.
Like,
Oh yeah. Listen, that stuff pops up every day. Like there's new people training.
But a strength and conditioning coach means you went to school for this.
Yeah.
I have a degree in specializing in maximizing your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I had to ask because it's just like I know it's a thing. Because it's like if people, people now do stuff with the camera. So like, oh yeah, you take pictures. I'm like, no.
Like you're a photographer.
Yeah, like people just say that and it hurts my soul because I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, I do a lot.
Not see the page.
I do a lot.
Understand.
Yeah,
do you not see the IG?
Do you not see but it's like understandable because people, like some people are just ignorant. So I might just call you a trainer, but that's not what you're doing. It's different. But I want to get back to that part because, it was good that you ended off with Explosive. We'll get back to it. But the other job title that you have is a firefighter. And I actually think that's the most important one. You know what I'm saying? So, I know it kind of ran in your family. So kind of take us through, your journey into becoming a firefighter.
So, initially, I did not want to be a fireman at all. My brother is now on his 23rd year, if I'm correct. So he has 2 more years and he's out of here. He's
older brother?
Yeah.
Is Orlando?
Yeah, Orlando. He is 49. Please don't butcher me. Oh, I'm sorry. 49. I want to say it's 49, yeah. So he got in first and he had a slew of jobs beforehand. So you think I had a lot of jobs? Orlando had more. So he was he worked at Campbell's as a security guard. He worked at the aquarium. Yeah, it was, he was nuts, man.
Free soup.
He had so much that he was, he had his hands in or whatever. And then the fire department came into play. And it got to a point my freshman year where he was like, they're hiring now. They haven't hired in a long time. You should put your application in. And I was like, I'm hooping. There's no way in hell I'm doing this. So my other brother,
freshman year of college, he hits you up to get into this job.
Yeah, because he was like, listen, it really is a life-changing job. And had I done that then, man, I would probably be done in 10 more years. Yeah. Which is nuts to say that you're retired.
There's a pension?
Yeah, 25 years, you're out. You get a full pension. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so many perks to be.
Very nice.
Yeah. No, it's dope. It's dope. So I did not take the advice. I wanted to hoop. My other brother, Javier, he's a year older than me. He's at Rowan as well. He's playing baseball at Rowan. He hates school, so he drops out. Even with the whole baseball thing or whatever, he did not want to be in school or whatever, and it wasn't his thing. He gets into the fire department at 20 years old, so he could retire at 45. Crazy. It was beautiful because he applied, got in right away, right? So now when I go to apply, I'm like 26 years old. Go through the list. 3 years, that list expires. I have to reapply again. Go through that list.
You have to wait 3 years?
Yeah, that list is good for 3 years. And then if they don't hire off of it, you got to go through the whole process again with the written, the physical, the psych test, all that stuff.
Hold on.
There's a lot going into it.
I don't know anything about what it takes to be a firefighter.
Okay. So
How do you become a firefighter?
So civil service, you have to go to civil service website, apply, right? They'll send you a letter, whatever. They'll give you a date for a written test. They take that written test.
What's the written test on?
So it's almost like if you think of like an Iowa test. I went to Catholic school, so you probably what is a public school test?
Timber Creek, yeah, 2013.
What kind of standardized testing did you guys have?
Jeez, that's tough.
Think of like the SATs then. All right, so okay, similar.
HESPA.
It's like,
It was the HESPA. I was like, I definitely took one of those. Okay,
definitely took something.
Good.
If not, Timber Creek.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's over.
So you take like a standardized test,
okay,
and a lot of it is like math, basic reading, and then there's some kind of fireman questions in there, but it's like general knowledge. If you read a section, you answer some questions. It's basically
to make sure you are idiot-proof prior to coming into this.
Yes.
You can do basic math, reading.
Yes. Yeah. So
okay, cause and effect.
So there's there's X amount of hose from point A to point B, like. This is the next point it needs to be to how many feet of hose do you need to get to that, like stuff like that, whatever. It's
I was going to say there's X amount of hose that live. Yeah. You need to get from hose A to hose B.
People like y'all take that test.
Yeah. I should have specified that one. I should have specified that one. So I messed that one up. So and then there's a lot of maps. What's the best route to get to this place or whatever. So you take that test. They rank you. So when I took it, they ranked you, and you got a score out of that. You took the physical test, which was like an obstacle course. When I took it, luckily it was pass fail. So you had up to 5 minutes to complete it, and as long as you got it under 5 minutes, you were good.
Now, was it hard? Was it like
for me?
Talk about the obstacle test.
Yeah. I want to know. Is
for
it
me,
fun?
I don't even want to tell you what I did. So when we took the practice one in Camden, I was
cheated?
number one. No, I killed that thing.
I was about to say, bro, you're on the podcast. You better talk your shit right now.
First of all, I killed that. I was number one in all the little practice scenarios or whatever. I don't know. So it's a county-wise test. So there's 3,000 people applying for it, and they just get ranked in their counties. In different counties. So I got like Camden, I got Pennsauken, Voorhees, or whatever, and whatever sends you a letter, you could go anywhere. But yeah, I killed that test. So my brother's like, don't rush.
Is it like the TikTok? It's like you running up a wall and jumping over in mud,
all right,
barrel climbing and shit?
You'll take like a hose, you'll drag it a certain amount of feet, you'll come back, you'll drag a dummy, you'll go to a fire hydrant, you'll screw on the cap, you'll pull a pulley system all the way up. The worst part of it is when you throw the high-rise pack on your back, which is like 100 pounds. You have to go over, so it's 3 steps going up, a landing, 3 steps going down. You have to go over and back 6 times. And like, it doesn't sound like it's crazy, but throw 100 pounds on your back, and that's in the middle. Yeah, that's in the middle of the whole course. Man, your calves are killing you. And then right after that, you put the high-rise pack down, you drag another dead body. You know what I mean? Like it's all types of stuff like that. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? And for a guy like me, luckily because I was in shape, I killed that. So then they'll take your written and then your physical, and they'll give you like an average of that or whatever. So then they rank you. And then depending on how many they're hiring, they could certify, like say they're going to hire 10 people, they'll still send out 50 letters, because then they go through the background check, then you go through the psych test, and people just, they'll have tickets, unpaid tickets, you're off. Right. You know what I mean? Like stupid stuff like that can disqualify you. And then if you're lucky enough to get on, you go to the medical stuff, so they'll check your lungs, check your heart, all that stuff like that, and then if you're lucky enough to get all the way through that part, you start the academy.
Damn.
Yeah,
God.
That was dope, man.
But from like applying to getting the offer, how long does that take? Is that 6 months?
Damn, yeah, about 6 months. So like when they're about to hire, the process goes really fast. If they're not hiring, man, that thing drags. And I got
you're waiting for a vacancy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many times I almost quit a job because people were telling me like, "Yo, they're about to hire." So I'm like this close. I was working at Life at Lords at one point. I was patient transport, so I had like a bunch of senior citizens that I would take to their appointments and take them back. And there's like a center that they go and they get their food, their prescriptions, and I hated that job. God, I hated that job. I hated that job. I hated my boss. And they told me, they were like, Ed, they're hiring. You're going to get a letter soon. And I'm telling you that this guy was such a jerk. I almost took my name tag off and was like, F you, I'm out of here. And I'm glad I didn't do it because he didn't hire for another like 4 months. So, yeah. So, since my brother and all other firemen worked at this job, they swore they had like the in. They knew when it was going to happen. So they're all giving me this information. So I'm all pumped up like, man, I'm about to quit this thing. What? You know what I mean? Like, I'm about to go to the promised land. And it didn't happen right away. So that was a little, bump in the road or whatever. But luckily, I'm here now. So
stop snitching.
Talk to us about your experience taking the psych test. Because like I was saying, it's been a question that a lot of people have, especially with like everything that's going on with cop killings or cops killing people, and people want to know, like, who are these people that are supposed to be like patrolling our streets? How did they get to that job? Like, how did they get it? So like, talk to us about your experience with your psych test.
All right, so that day was pretty was filled. So I was set to go to Duke UNC later on that night at the Barclay Center. It's snowing. You go in, you're all decked out in suits and stuff like that. Most of us were. Some people came in wearing some FUBU, which was kind of funny. But you go in, there's like a 300 question packet, and they ask you a bunch of questions, and they reword them so that they could find like some kind of consistency. So they'll ask you something like, do you find stealing immoral? And then they'll reword that, and they'll try to see if you answer the same way or whatever, right? During that time period, you can get called back by the guy. He sits in front of you, across from a table or whatever, and he'll ask you a bunch of questions, and it goes pretty crazy. So my personal story was a little wild. So as we're walking back, he gets a phone call from his wife. Wife says that she rear-ended someone in front of UPenn, and he's arguing with her about where to get the car towed to, blah, 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 whatever. So he's pissed off. You could tell he's in a bad mood. He sits in front of me, and the slew of questions that I get after that were ridiculous. So, Tom Brady, how do you feel about him winning all these Super Bowls? I'm like, sir, I don't care. I'm a North Carolina basketball fan, so, like, whatever. And
is that really the question he opens up with?
Yeah. And then Al-Qaeda. Do you want to kill them all? Like, and I like, how do you answer that question? So I'm like, I signed up for this job to potentially save people, blah, 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 whatever. So no, I don't want to kill anybody. Apparently that wasn't patriotic enough or whatever. I should have said, let's get them all. Like he probably would have loved me. Let's go, brother. But no. So then the more weird questions started coming, and it was like, who do you love more, your mother or your father? And I'm like, I love them both. That's not an option. My dad. Okay. Right? And then you respond to a fire at your parents' house. Who do you save? I'm like, my mom. But you love your father more. Yeah, but my dad is a Torres man. He's going to have the best chance to get out of there. And he's like, but you love your father more. And I'm like, dude, like, you're a dick. Like, come on, man. Like, help me out here. I just want to be a fireman. So it goes on. He gets another phone call from the wife, gets into it with her, and it comes back to me. So now we're talking about my DUIs. So that's my little dark secret. Ed Torres had 2 DUIs at Rowan. I was a little bit of a wild child. So whatever. So do you still drink? I'm 30 years old at this point. You know what I mean? I'm legal. Yes, I do. But you had a DUI. Why do you still drink? And I'm like, come on, man. And how often do you drink? 1 or 2 times a month. but you had a DUI. Why do you still drink? Like, come on, man. All right. So when you drink, what do you drink? Vodka, beer, whatever. And I'm like, I'll have beer. But you had a DUI. Why do you drink? And I'm like, dude. And I'm like, now my blood pressure's starting to build. Like, I'm getting pissed off. Like, like the Camden in me is starting to come out. I'm like, what's up with you, bro? Like, and then it's like, so when you do drink your beer, how many do you have? I'm like, no more than 2. If I have 2, then my girlfriend, my now fiance, will drive. But you had a DUI. Why do you drink? So I'm like, damn near like beating my hands on the table. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I leave there. On my way to the Duke UNC game, I'm calling my brother. Man, I don't know. I don't feel good about this one. He's like, dude, it's only a formality. You're fine. And I'm like, all right, fine. So my best friend, Angelo, he's also on the list with me. He took the test same day as me. We went through the whole process pretty much hand in hand. And he gets his medical. So that means they're like, yo, Saturday, I have to go get my lungs checked, my heart checked, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And they said the academy starts on Monday. I'm like, Monday? Damn.
Damn, that fast?
Yeah, it's like a week from now. And I'm like, well, it's probably going to come. So every day, I'm at the gym. I go home. I'm like, and I'm living at my parents' house at the time. So I'm like, Mom, did I get anything? No. Mom, did I get anything? No. So my brother is working. He's on shift. He goes to City Hall for me. He goes to director of personnel or whatever, and he's like, so my brother hasn't gotten anything. And they're saying the academy's about to start on Monday. She's like, well, if your brother didn't get anything, he's probably not. Right?
Damn.
So I'm like heartbroken. So she's like, you better tell your brother to appeal right away. So they get me to this guy, Greg Zeff. He's, I want to say it's out of Malton. But, so I go to him, give him a gang of money. He goes and he fights a process. So I ask him and I say,
like,
yeah,
go beat this.
At that time I didn't have
But at
anything.
this point, do you know that you failed?
Yeah, I mean, well, they basically tell me that if I didn't get anything at this point, then yes, you failed.
Okay.
So I hadn't gotten a physical letter yet that said that I failed. So, so I talked to the lawyer or whatever, and I go, how long is this appeal process going to go? And he's like, you're probably going to go 4 months, maybe, going through this process or whatever, but you'll be in the next academy. Don't worry about it. So at that time,
my man's confident,
bro. But listen, apparently he doesn't lose, right? So I'm like, all right. So I got to wait another 4 months. So I had an opportunity to go play basketball in Mexico. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. And then so I tell the lady I'm gonna go, and she's like, all right, bet you're gonna go. We're gonna get all the tickets and everything ready for you. Then literally the day after, I get a call from Lisa Picone, who's director of personnel. She's like, are you still interested in the job of the fire department? And I'm like, is that a serious question? Like, yes, absolutely. She was like, well, go get your drug test on Saturday. You'll be at the academy on Monday. Damn. So I called that same lady back that was talking about basketball, and I'm like, I am not going. This is a career changer. You know what I'm saying? So I got into the fire department, and luckily, you know, I think I still am the only fireman that won their appeal process and didn't have to wait a whole academy and got into the next academy. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So I got lucky on that regard.
So you made history.
I guess, yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, if I didn't get into the fire department, I had no idea what I was going to do in my life. Because, like, yeah, I was training people or whatever, but, like, the fire department brought, like, stability, and I needed it. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting older. It just was something that it really put me in the right direction. So everything that I'm doing right now with Explosive and everything outside of that, had I not gotten into the fire department, I would not be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
talk to us about, now at this point, you've explained how you became a firefighter. You've already talked about how you got to Explosive. So now you're doing both at the same time. So kind of talk about how hard that is, one, and then, like, how do you balance the two?
I think the hardest is giving people consistency as far as, like, my time. So the way the fire department is set up, you work one 24-hour shift, well, at least Camden's. You work one 24-hour shift, you're off 3 days in a row, right? And those days you could be up for, you know, overtime or whatever, but those 3 days I'm usually locked in at the gym. So it rotates. So if I work a Monday, Friday, the following week I work a Tuesday, Saturday. The following week I work a Wednesday, Sunday. So when I give people my schedule, I have to give them, like, the printout. Like, you know, here's this color-coded schedule. All the red days are my fire department days, so those days are no-go. You could schedule any other. It's tough because kids have practices that are like every Tuesday, Thursday we have practice. I may not be available on those days, so that makes it tough. But luckily, I literally have the best clients in the world where they're like, I haven't ran into a problem where people were like, well, Ed, you're not available for me as much as I need you to be. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I'm going to go find somebody else. So I think that's where my relationships that I build with these kids or whatever, and these people, my adult population or whatever, where they're like, we'll be flexible around you. And I'm telling you, I've been blessed to have those kind of clients. I've had 0 run-ins where somebody was like, well, all right, I'm out of here. I got to go somewhere else because you're not available.
That's impressive.
That is very impressive.
It's been nuts.
So when you're in it, yeah, I was going to say, take a drink. Jesus. You're giving us some fucking content, boy. Anything that I ever see on Instagram, it seems like, me personally, I think of it that way. I'm like, hey, I would love to come to something like this and like have you train me and get me to the next level, like even as a normal person.
Yeah.
But
I have a lot of like regular, just general
just
population
regular people
fitness.
who want to do it. But for these kids who come to you and they want to take it to the next level, it seems like it really is like pushing yourself to the ultimate limit. I mean, and I know that Brandon is an incredible videographer. He doesn't like it. Photographer, whatever. Media company where he can portray that image.
Oh, he's the best in the business.
But I know that at the end of the day, he's only shining light on the reality of a situation, something that's really happening.
I will say this, though. B made me look like a stud in one of my basketball videos, and I think I had 8 points in there. So I look phenomenal.
Hey, he makes this look fucking incredible.
I'm just saying. He made me look like a stud, and I was like, damn, that's what I look like in that game. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I struggled, and that was the only highlights that I actually had. He captured all of them. But I was like, I appreciate you, and we're going to fake the funk for Instagram right now. But
at the end of the day, is it a lot of, like from what I hear from Brandon, right? Is it a lot of word of mouth? Like you work with one kid on one team and they're excelling and then they say, who are you working with? And you go from there?
Yeah, absolutely. The beginning of my career, it was pretty much all word of mouth. They don't really advertise for you at these facilities. They'll advertise for the facility, but not specifically Ed Torres. No one really talks about it, or no one talked about it, but Trey Tolliver was the #1 velocity trainer in the country. There's like 42 velocities at the time, but they only spoke about velocity. He was the entity that made velocity in Cherry Hill great, and they, kind of shortchanged him a little bit. So that's why Explosive came about, because he literally put in all the legwork, and literally he just removed himself from velocity and put himself on his own, terms.
So Explosive is Trey Tolliver's business. Yeah. You are a trainer at Explosive.
I'm rocking with Explosive. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for me, my, personal clients or whatever, I'll start with one kid and then they'll tell another one, well, one of my teammates want to come with me. All right, cool. And then it went from there. I luckily went to Camden Catholic with a good friend of mine. Her name is Katie Lee, and she runs an All-American AIM lacrosse team. So there's
is that how all the lacrosse girls got? Dude,
all of those lacrosse girls.
I don't mean this in the weird way. When I look at the page, I'm like, where are all these lacrosse girls?
So first of all,
when I'm looking at them, like, yo, do you have every lacrosse female player in the fucking state coming
so
into this place?
Between me and Trey, though, we do have, like, if you looked at what came
That's
up,
hardcore, bro.
Yeah.
Lacrosse is hardcore.
So there's like a South Jersey's player to watch list or whatever. Between me and Trey, pretty much every one of those girls train at Explosive. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope, man.
Absolutely.
It's been a great year. It's the facility itself is amazing. He bears no expense to get the best stuff available. So there's no reason to not go there. You know what I mean? And then, you also get like the whole family atmosphere in there. So people come in and it's like, whether you're with me or with Trey, we're all talking to each other. And people, they interact with Trey's clients, will interact with mine or whatever. And most of those kids know each other. They're playing each other at some point of the year. You know what I mean? But like, we're all in one spot. So that's why the last video that B did for me, I made sure everybody wore the Straight Out Explosive shirt. So they were
Those were dope.
Yeah. Oh man, it was fire video. So we had them. It was almost like their send-off workout to their season. Most of those girls will still come in and work out during the season. They're pretty committed. Almost every one of those girls. No, actually, every one of those girls are D1 commits. So they're still coming in at least 2 times a week to train or whatever. But
bro, put it this way. They see me on the street, I'm not squaring up with
yeah. Oh no, they're all deadlifting like something crazy. Like
people, I don't care, man or woman, especially them. But I'm saying, I'm like, oh, nah. Like I see them on that curved,
the curved
treadmill thing running, and listen. I'm like, nah, I'm good on that.
Oh man,
like,
I'm telling you that the fact that these girls come in and they start at this point. They go all the way, to where they're at right now. It's nuts, to see their progress. And that's literally why I do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it to become a millionaire. That's not, it's not a reality. And honestly, I probably could just not train people at all and just live off my fire department. I would have to live amongst my means or whatever. But like, I do train people because I love doing what I'm doing. And, I tried to make this work for such a long time where I was like, well, I got to get into the fire department to be able to do this and, do both of them, and I'll be able to have the best of the both worlds. And luckily it's turned out that way. There's been a lot of tough years where I started off with not many clients, and to where we're at right now, it's nuts. And I will say that you put his twist onto any of your pages, people are gonna look. You know what I mean? It's the BC effect, I promise you. So it's like we already have like the best gym in South Jersey, right? Yeah. So with all the equipment and things that we have going on in there, best gym in South Jersey, all people need to do is see it. So through his videos and then the word of mouth after that, it's really been, blossoming, and it's good. So
now, so we did our soul extent thing, right? Mm-hmm. And basically what it was basically the same thing, maybe a little more in depth. I want you to but my favorite part of it was when you broke down how hard it is to go from working a 24-hour shift to then having to be on your A game as a strength and conditioning performance coach for these kids who are depending on you because they're trying to get into college. Talk about how hard that is.
I'll tell you what, every kid will come in and see me and they'll look and they'll be like, damn, you had a rough one last night? And it's just, it comes with the territory. But I mean, first of all, sleep outside of your house in any circumstance, you're probably not getting the best quality sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at a firehouse.
I'm glad you said that, because that's the first thing I think of is if I was going to respond to a tragedy and I'm not in my own bed,
it's tough.
There's no way, bro. There's no way I'm 100% the way that I would normally sleep.
It's like one of those things where, at least for me, everybody's different. Some people can get in that deep sleep or whatever, but I can't. I'm in one of the busiest companies in the city. So I'm literally laying down, close my eyes, and I feel like something's coming. And it may not come. But in my head, I'm like, there's going to be a call. There's no way I'm going to get to sleep all the way through the night. And then, say I have 2 of those calls, and we're not even talking about having a fire, but I have 2 of those calls, broken up sleep in the middle of the night, and then going to work. I'm there usually by 8:30. I get relieved at 7. I'm at the gym by 8:30. You know what I mean? It is a grind. And that's why I try my hardest to always be energetic and, try to be my, my normal self. Because people, if you don't see me, energized or whatever, you're going to know, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I try my hardest. There are some days where it's harder than others. You throw a fire in, I may cancel people in the morning. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Sometimes it's just your body gets beat up and you need the nap. So I may cancel the morning and then come in the afternoon. Yeah. So.
But the thought process of being on call 24 hours, for regular people, that just means you're there at the firehouse, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you're just there.
Anything
you're on
happen,
call, anything happens. Because you're saying a fire. But I think of it as okay, there's a car accident,
gas
a really,
calls.
really, really bad car accident, and there's 7 fire trucks. And you're like, why is the fire department here?
Yeah. Well,
So you're at something like that as well?
yeah. So my company is considered a specialty company. So like we could do vehicle extrication.
And this is
stuff like that.
Camden, New Jersey Fire Company. Okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, say someone's trapped in the car or whatever. So they'll call like the rescue,
Oh my
which is
God. You are the guys who got to pull them out of the car?
yeah. So we'll there'll be rescue, usually are predominantly there first, and then the squad, we assist the rescue. And sometimes the rescue could be on another call, and then squad is the number one guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it just depends. But yeah, I mean, it could be one of those calls. It could be a fire. It could be like a really big one. It could be nothing. You know what I mean? It could be a false alarm. It's not like one of those things that like typical firemen, like I'm talking to you on a podcast about what we do. You know what I mean? Like the real hardcore firemen will not speak of this at all. You know what I mean? Like they don't. It's almost like the military type thing where it's like you're not doing it for the pat on the back type thing. Yeah. So like.
So
they're quiet about it. Yeah. Unless
they don't speak about it because it's like
they're just like
you're trying to
this is our
glorify?
job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Yeah. This is our job. We don't need a cookie for her. You know what I mean? Like doing what we're supposed to be doing.
God, man.
Yeah. No. There's a lot of like great men that I work with that are, you know, responsible for a lot of amazing feats, and it's you know, to them it's like, I know I did what I was supposed to do. It's my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's not normal though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, to you guys it won't be
Bro.
normal, right? To you guys it won't be normal. But like I said, like my brother's company is a really really good rescue company, and some of those firemen, they like the way that they've explained it to me when I got on. If there was a draft, like my brother would go in like a top 5. You know what I mean? And then the guys that he works with would also be in that top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Stop snitching. So, at the end of the day, is there any sport? I know you love basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Is basketball the hardest sport to strength and condition toward?
I don't want to say it's the hardest sport, but it's the hardest population, in my opinion. Everyone, if you're going to train a football player, they're definitely going to want to lift. If you're going to train a lacrosse player, you can convince them that they have to lift. But basketball players seem to predominantly think that at some point lifting is going to mess up their shot. It kills me. You know what I mean? Like,
Is that true? You feel like that?
No.
no, absolutely not. Jordan proved that. He
Yeah.
was like, I'm getting
Jordan
beat up
was
by the
lifting.
Pistons.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Gotta
and
get
put me
stronger.
through it. If it messes up my shot, I'm done with this. And it never messed up his shot. Like, he just got better.
Well, I think you don't want to become a bodybuilder.
Oh,
but you
hell
can
no.
lift.
But listen, man, look at my build. I'm in the gym all the time. I don't get overly big. Like, it's because, like, I train kind of like I'm still playing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be a big person. I still, if I can't play basketball, I feel like I'm slowly dying. So, like, I'm not going to train to be, you know, my cousin is a bodybuilder, and he is freaking huge. You know my cousin.
Yeah.
I could never train the way that he trains because he trains to be the Incredible Hulk. I want to look like a basketball player.
So let me ask you this. If you're me, right, and do me a favor and say, like, okay, if the diet is out of the question, what can a normal person do to get themselves to a higher physical level overall?
So we're outside of the diet. I mean,
A normal person, regular day, what can you do?
man, it really isn't much, man. It's consistency. But like, you got to move, man. You have to continue to do the things like your body. Like when you're born, you're like a baby is an incredible squatter. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older, you start losing these, you know, flexibility, mobility, and things like that. And like, that is our fault. Like, we should be working towards continue to restore mobility, restore flexibility, maintain strength, and things like that. Like, it should not be like, I'll get this a lot. It would be like, oh, well, I can't do that exercise because it hurts my knee. Like, that's not the case. It should never be, this exercise hurts my knee. Your body should be set up correctly at this point. You've put yourself through the right range of motion, stability stuff. You know, you should be able to do any exercise. There's no such thing as a wrong exercise. It's a poorly executed exercise or a body that's not ready to do that exercise. So, you know, I would say, like, you know, as funny as it sounds, I was so against like yoga like when I was younger. I'm not saying that I do it now, but I'm not against it anymore because now I'm a little bit more educated, and I know that there is a great big benefit to that. But you know, if you're not looking to be a big bodybuilder, you need to move more. You need to, you know, full body exercises, like, and just be consistent, keep yourself accountable, and do something every day. You know what I mean? Just move every day.
Yeah.
So that's just like the toughest thing to break to people. They're like, oh, I saw this waist trainer that works. I'm like, really? Is it the waist trainer that works, or the fact that you put that waist trainer on and you stopped eating cheeseburgers? You know what I mean? Because you're like, whoa, why would I eat this cheeseburger? I got this waist trainer on.
No, you know, I think that that's super fair. Like, a lot of people we talk to, well, I thought you were younger than you are, so you're not.
Yeah.
But like 10 years younger, you talk to so many young men, young women, where it's like, all right, you're out of college. You still probably have those weekend tendencies where you're doing whatever you're doing, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But having that, like, parlay into the week, even for me, like, very recently, I'm just like, you know what? If I just watched everything that I did Monday through Friday, and that comes down to, like, just not eating Doritos at lunch every single day.
Yeah.
Like, the little stuff incrementally, and I joke about it, but, like, a Coke Zero. Like, just monitoring even the little bit, like, there's no sugar in this. I'm just trying to do better. I'm eating a pretzel instead of a Snickers bar. Like, something like that. You'd be
surprised.
When I'm on top of it, I'm not going to lie, it does. It makes me feel better going forward. And I feel it in my body every single week.
Do you follow The Rock on Instagram?
No, but it's only because it makes me feel bad.
Right.
When I
All right,
see
but
him,
you think it would make you feel bad, but he is probably one of the craziest specimens, right? He posts these epic cheat meals. You know what I mean? And they're nuts. I don't know if you've ever seen these. Just go ahead and Google his epic cheat meals and just
give me an example. What is it? Is
man, he'll
3
like
pies of pizza.
Oh my god, like his
stack of sausage.
Yeah, it's
like,
nuts.
It goes crazy.
But like, so for a guy like that, right? He's so regimented that he can still have one of those days, and that goes for us too. Like, I would never tell anybody that you have to stay by a strict diet. Like, again, unless you're getting on stage and like competing, like some body physique thing or whatever, you know, we're human, man. Like, you can enjoy your life a little bit. So as long as you stay disciplined, and like, so for example, Monday through Friday, I eat really healthy, and the hardest time for me to eat healthy, honestly, is at the firehouse, because we can eat so good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Y'all be chefing
you see my post, like some
Fireman TikTok is real.
I don't know anything about TikTok, but if it's like the crazy like meals or whatever, there's some
spaghetti and
good
meatballs and just crazy steak and potatoes and like these giant meals.
No, it's like that. Yeah, it's like that. So. It's the hardest for me to not go get a second plate or whatever. Me and my boy Angelo, we try to keep ourselves accountable. Like, yo, that's a lot of bread right there, bro. Like, put that down. And like, he jokes with me like, yo, don't go into that snack cabinet. There's M&Ms over there, and I know you want them. But like, it's, you know, Monday through Friday, I'm trying to be good with that. And then, you know, I cheat on a Saturday, and I try to get back on it on a Sunday, or not be as bad on a Sunday, and then get right back on it again. And like I said, I'm not trying to be like some freaking model or anything like that. I want to be healthier and you know, still look good. But
I think it's about portion sizes too.
Oh yeah, man.
Like, you could eat throughout the day, but it can't just be like pounds of food. Like,
let's break it down in the most simplest form, right? You have, like, if you're gonna compose your meal, you know, you got your chicken breast or fish or something like that, steak. You have a handful of carbs and as much veggies as you could put on there. You know what I mean? Like, it could be as simple as that. Like, you know, I know people are crazy on counting like macros and stuff like that, but like, you know, I work out every morning. You know, I try to stay consistent with the every morning workout and eating, you know, somewhat good every day, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday I'll have my cheat meal, and then I'm hooping like 3 to 4 times a week. Like, I'm not trying to be, you know, I don't want to look at my lady and be like, yo, we can't have that pizza. No, like, you know what I mean? I want to
work hard, play hard.
Live life a little bit. So
I was gonna say, and this podcast is on a Saturday night.
Yeah,
so cheers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's the most important part. Is like, whenever I see people like working really hard on their body, being really, really, really particular in what they're eating, I'm just like, dude, there's got to be a moment where you want to eat like Panda Express. Don't lie to me where you don't want to eat a large chicken chili. Like don't lie to me about that, bro.
So my a guy I consider my older brother, he had a neighbor. So he's in the military. So I go up to Fort Dix to see him, and his neighbor was like one of those fitness competitors, and he. My buddy's a freaking crazy chef. Like I'm telling you, he would hook some meals up, and we'd go there, and he would show up with his little chicken breast and like this little thing of rice or whatever, and then he would come to our plates and be like, "Just let me smell it." I'm like, "That's the worst freaking like. What kind of life is that?" And he would like smell like the burgers and be like,
"Oh God."
I'm like, dude, that's sickening, man. What? Who the hell wants to live like that?
I mean, I know like there's people like Chris Paul in the league who. I think he just went vegan completely, or he may just do it during the season. Like some people just have their things.
Yeah, to each his own, man. I get it,
but it's just like, nah, I don't know. I couldn't.
Is it necessary? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's just it depends on what you feeling, man. But it's like I just say like you can eat whatever, but like it's just about your portion sizes, and then it's about like you don't want to eat too late at night either.
I think like as far as the portion size is definitely a big thing. The timing of what you eat, I believe they dispelled that as like a myth. Cool. Yeah.
He's like,
I'm a late night person.
I'm about to go eat something right now.
Yes, sir. Got that meatloaf on, baby.
So, I'm just, for me, it's like, man, stay consistent in the gym. Give yourself like that one day to be human. You know what I mean? Like, and enjoy yourself. Because at the end of the day, like, we live once, and so you're gonna walk around and be like, man, I was super healthy, but I died at like, you know what I mean, 50 with no life experiences and no good food in your what?
Hey man, I was just talking about that, and we talked about that on a podcast very recently. I was like, dude, if I hear someone dies at 51, 60 years old even, it's like, dude, you're so young, you're not living your life, and at the end of the day, that's not what it can be about. Like you gotta be able to have.
But
those
we're
moments.
Programmed to think that like the best time of our life is like 20 to 30. That is so much. Like that's such a false narrative.
Yep.
Because at 30, I feel like I was more financially stable. I could do more. I think my 30s were way cooler so far than my 20s. You know what I mean? I could do so much more. So it's like I'll try to talk to like my clients that are in that age group, like 20 to 30 or whatever, and I'm like, yo, don't get down on yourself. Like most people don't figure it out yet. You know what I mean? Like it takes a little bit time. I'm telling you, I can specifically remember punching my steering wheel in my front of my house with my now fiance, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm 27 years old. Like I think like life is over. You know what I mean? Like, and then boom, life happens, and then I'm here where I'm at right now. It's like, if you are programmed to look at Instagram every day and think that everybody at this age group right now should be house, kids, a great job and stuff like that, you're in, that's like a trap. You know what I mean? Like you will start comparing yourself to other people's journeys, and it's like, man, the best part of my life started at 30.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you get like the most clarity because you've been through so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the best part of my job is being able to like kind of kick it with them like that, but like, yo, chill. Don't beat yourself up, man. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, I always got to ask you, like, and I think this is like a great question to like just end everything on, because it's like even in our episode, like the premise of the episode was like you're a hero, but you're a different type of hero because you help people in the community through firefighting, but you also help your clients like feel good about themselves. Like it's not just training, it's like I've seen it, like they're like family, like like you support them, they can come to you with everything, so it's not much of a question.
You've seen that firsthand when people like bend my ear or whatever, and I'm
and I think that you have like purpose, like the two things that you do like directly align with each other because it's all about helping people at the end of the day. On the firefighting side, you got a lot of, like, you're the youngest there. So you get, like, a lot of the OG wisdom, but then you bring that to, like, the you know, strength and conditioning stuff where you got a lot of kids in college and high school who need to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what
I'm telling you, I think that's the most fun part about it is that, like, I'll look at them and I'll hear them like unload these problems, and I'm like, hold on, man, I got something for that, man.
Yeah.
Look, this is what happened to me at this point, and like, everything is going to be okay. Trust me, it's going to be good. You're going to make it out of this one. And like, I don't think people realize how much stuff they got going on for themselves. Like, you know, you're looking at this small problem that you have right now, but you have no idea how many crazy blessings you have otherwise. So it's like, you know, kind of remind them about that. It's like, yo, don't worry about that. This is a now problem. It's not going to be, you know, something that's going to sustain itself. So just, you know, keep pushing and doing what you're doing, whatever, you're going to be fine. I think that's definitely the one thing that I could say that I do is give them a little bit more insight. You know, me being 34 and not 28. Yeah, I mean, I've been around the block a little bit, I guess I could say. But I've had people, you know, my brother's damn near 50, so he's done the same thing to me and brought me along. And the people that he's working with are doing the same thing. So they'll see me. If I'm messing up on the fire ground, they come and yell at me. You know, they'll get in my ass and they'll tell me, yo, you need to be doing this, and this is where you went wrong or whatever. And it's like, it's just like a sport, you know what I mean? And then you take that with you and you'll do it better the next time. And then you talk to these kids and be like, look, you messed up right here. It's fine. You know, you'll come across this problem again. You'll do better the next time. You'll be all right. Don't worry.
I like that as the name of this episode. You're gonna be fine.
You'll be fine, man.
You'll be fine, man.
I know, man. You gave us everything. We appreciate you for coming out, man. Kicking it with us.
Absolutely.
You let us know, I just want people to know, like, you're a hero, bro. Like,
yes.
I know you.
Thank you for
that,
coming out.
But it's like, bro, you literally risk your life every day. Well, when you're at the fire department, you risk your life. Like, you had 14 runs the other night.
Yeah.
You probably didn't get any sleep, but then you, like, still bring energy to, like, all your clients. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not easy. So if anybody could take anything away, it's just, like, nothing's impossible, but it's, like, when you have a good heart, like, you're always going to be successful.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't let anybody tell you can't do something, man. That's the crazy part. If you really want it, man, you got it. Everything's available for you.
Yeah.
So, and we just want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for listening to the Stop Snitching podcast.
Yes,
Nathan, B-Rock, follow at Ed Deuces, on Instagram. Is that the main plug you want to pull?
Yeah.
That's all I got, man. 34 years old. You thought I was going to put a TikTok out there?
I thought he was 18, bro. Thank you for following, subscribing, liking. Thank you for tuning in, as always. And until next time, stop snitching.